Hello, thank you for stopping by. My name is Harrison Davies and I'm the author of the Adoramus Chronicles. I hail originally from Hartlepool, England, and moved about the country and abroad to finally settle in Newcastle, where I live with my partner of 10 years. We have an extremely intelligent ginger Staffordshire Bull Terrier and a rather chatty African grey parrot. I thought I'd take this opportunity to introduce two of my books and follow up with snippets from them. I'd also like to explore my writing process, my fondness for photography and filmmaking in other videos. Of course, if you have any questions, leave them below and I'll try and answer them for you. Please also take the time to subscribe, rate and comment. In all honesty, it was a new and exciting way to communicate my feelings and thoughts. As a child, I wrote or drew all of the time, winning awards and accolades from school for my fertile imagination. There is a lot of me in these books, but I suppose any author could say that. I've laughed and cried on my journey to create books I know I'd want to read, and I think that's the secret, opening your heart and letting the words flow. Writing for you, not some corporate idea of what makes a good book. If you live, breathe and die in your writing, you've nailed it. So then, Destiny of the Wolf. Technically my second book, but the first to be released back in 2012. This is the original cover, which has since been replaced by this one. Destiny of the Wolf is about relationships, those of family, friends and enemies. The dealing with the trials of life in adverse conditions, something we all must do at some point in our own lives. It is set in a fantasy world, but not too far removed from what we know historically of our own world. The book has the usual fantasy elements you'd expect, but generally focuses on people and their interplay and personal relationships, rather than total immersion in the elements of fantasy. And that's where I believe this book excels. Don't get me wrong, I hit you with some fantastic curveballs along the way and great fantasy moments just to spice things up. It was a difficult thing to create the blurb. Yes, I'd written an awful lot of words, yet the hardest thing to write was the blurb. I spent 2 weeks umming and ahhing over that piece. It is, after all, the bit designed to grab your attention, make you want to buy that gloriously thick volume. Destiny has chosen them, death will make them pay. Death desires to rule as king of the gods and is poised to ignite a war in the heavens that would consume all life on the distant world of Erath. Brothers Coinan and Marek are thrust into a world of magic and summoned to a secret temple where an ancient mage brotherhood tells of a great destiny that has surrounded them since before they were born. Now the fate of this world hangs in the balance, and it is left to Coinan and Marek to seek the swords of Serathil and save their home from destruction. Treachery and deceit haunt them, and their very relationship is put to the test as the ultimate battle for survival begins. The dome seemed to ooze relief, and Coinan sensed a collective sigh. He looked about him to see others standing and stretching, and then sitting down, while others rubbed sore buttocks and nudged neighbours who had not woken. I now call upon our new initiate to join me on the platform, Coinan Wolf, Paulinus announced loudly. The room visibly stiffened, taking a great deal of notice now. Coinan felt every set of eyes focused on him, and he turned bright red. Off you go, my boy, head on up to the platform, Menon prompted with a nod. Conan rose stiffly and limped to an iron circular stairwell that wound its way up to the dais, high above the river that ran through the dome. He started to climb and wished his legs would wake up. Every step was like standing on shards of glass, with the pins and needles failing to subside. Several tiring minutes later, after his excruciating climb, he stood on the small podium in full view of everyone present, and felt suddenly very small. Paulinus did not look amused that it had taken him as long as it had to reach the platform, evidenced by the glare he gave over the top of his spectacles. "You took your time," he said grumpily. Conan looked apologetic and preferred not to look down. He was at a great height, and he and height did not see eye to eye. "Conan Wolf, descendant of Soliath Wolf, it is the decree of Archmage Orador that you succeed Laliala Menin as curator of the Great Library and protector of our faith. Do you accept this honour wholeheartedly and of your own free will?" Paulinus questioned. Conan was not ready for the question, and opened and closed his mouth like a fish out of water. Paulinus frowned and leant in close. "If you agree, then say I do," Paulinus prompted. Conan recovered and said softly, "I do." "Louder," Paulinus requested. "They need to hear you." "I do," Conan called loudly. A murmur of delight circled the dome, and he saw many faces smiling and nodding or commenting to one another. Underworld follows on from Destiny of the Wolf. Though the story has shifted 6 months ahead, our main character Conan has some very difficult choices ahead. But with the guidance and support of his brethren, he forges ahead to search for that which has been taken from him. They meet new friends and enemies along the way, and maybe a dragon or two, because who doesn't like dragons? Conan Wolf, curator of the Temple of Rindor, finds he is alone and desperate to locate his brother Marek, thought abducted on the orders of Dark Wizard Lordich Sekrakar. In the midst of a rescue, Conan and his companions are thrust into a series of events that spiral quickly into a fight for survival against a host of deadly adversaries and impossible odds. A twist of fate sees Conan given an offer he cannot refuse, one that could see him finally triumph over his oldest enemy. Old friends are lost and new ones are made in the race to save Marek. Marek found himself pinned behind a low stone wall, cowering from the flames of a dragon's breath. A particularly large and ill-tempered dragon had taken offence to Marek's presence and was showing the young man just by how much. Marek thanked his fellow novice wrangler, Jeroen, for his instruction in the signs that a dragon was about to attack. Jeroen, like he, was a prisoner who had been apprenticed to the former dragon wrangler. Marek had learned that this man had been executed for traitorous actions. Neither Jeroen nor Marek were versed in the art of magic and could not subdue the dragon. It strained at its restraints, thick iron chains shackled to each leg. Jeroen had run at the first sign of trouble, and Marek had only escaped a roasting with a split second to spare. He dived over a low stone wall and ducked down as fire seared over the rim. The dragon roared in anger, and Marek covered his ears to dull the pain. He heard the snap of metal and peered over the charred stone wall. His worst fear had been realized. The dragon had broken free. The sequel leads up nicely to the final chapter, The New World, which I'm currently writing and hoping for a 2014 release. I have a readership from age 10 to 89, and surprising even to me, many have told me that this is their first jaunt into fantasy and that I've opened their eyes to the genre they never considered before. That's positively mind-blowing to know that not only is the audience enjoying it, but they plan to continue to read further fantasy works. So if you're looking for something different than the usual and even likened to a well-known piece by George R.R. Martin, Destiny, the Wolf and Underworld is for you. I invite you to check out my book at any of the links below, and please, if you have any questions, fire away. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Elaine Denning for her wonderful editing and Phil Routledge for helping me produce this video. Before I go, here's a question or two for you. Why is it, do you think, that so many people are adverse to reading fantasy? Do you think they feel it's too far removed from real life? Leave your comments below. I'd be interested to read your opinion. Thank you for taking the time to watch my video. Please like, subscribe, rate and even comment. Till next time.